Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back. Um, I wanted to share with you guys a deck that I used recently in a league on Magic Online. Um, this is a burn deck, as you can see. I did make some changes with the new set. Um, Chrism Val gave us some new toys to play with, so that's pretty cool. So, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get through this deck tech. I wanted to talk to you guys about the deck before actually going into the league and showing you what happened. Um, but basically, the new cards we're using are Reckless Impulse and Voldaren Epicure. I guess those are the only cards that were, yeah, those are the only new cards that we're using from the new set. Uh, Crimson Vow. Um, so Reckless Impulse, basically, this says that you exile the top two cards of your library until the end of your turn. Till the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. So this reminds us of a lot of Light Up the Stage. Light Up the Stage is an uncommon that people usually use in Modern. Well, I wouldn't say usually. I don't really use this in Modern, but it was a crazy hype when this was released. Everyone was testing it out. Some people still like it. So you're going to exile the top two cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. Um, Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not a big fan of this in Modern. You really don't have time for this in Modern. But since the focus here is Pauper, we can go ahead and just focus on that and talk about that for a little bit. In Pauper, you do have time to exile things and cast them later on, since most lands they come into play tapped, and um, you got elevated converted mana costs for the spells, for most of the spells. So people are going to be casting three, four, um, three or four CVC spells, which give you some time to cast your burn spells or to actually have light up the stage effect. Um, The difference is, well, basically you have light up the stage with the spectacle for 1 mana, or you can just cast it for three. Um, the difference here is you're gonna cast this sorcery, Reckless Impulse for two. That's the only mana cost it has. There are no extra additional or any other mana costs. Um, what I'm trying to what I'm trying to say is, um, although the mana cost is a little high for a burn deck. You don't really want to be casting 2 mana stuff. What you want to be doing is uh, dealing the most damage possible for the less mana or less CVC as possible. Um, you basically want 3 damage for 1 mana. That's what we're looking for in a good burn deck. Or 4 damage for 0 mana, which is what Fire Blast does for us. That's why this closes out many games. But I just, I want to focus on this card because this is a card that is not dealing damage. It's a card that's getting you a little bit of virtual card advantage, which is not bad in burn. It does synergize with Alchemist because whenever you cast something, you can just untap him and just keep pinging your opponents for one. Um, I'm trying this out. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of exiling things in the burn deck. But for my surprise, in the Pauper format, this card has been performing fairly well. It's if you mulligan, it'll get you back two cards. It'll get you back one card, I guess, because you're gonna cast that. It'll get you two cards. Um, Let me see something. Yeah, and then the next turn, and then the next turn. Yeah, it's basically the same thing, except you're gonna be paying two mana here. So this is worth a shot in Pauper, guys. I've been enjoying this card. I haven't used it enough to tell you that this will be a burn staple, but it's worth a try, and I've been enjoying it. So, anyways, enough of that. Let's talk about the Epicure. This vampire, bro. I think I think he's just, for him to be even better, all he has to do is like make a coffee or something, because he does everything for you. I mean, if you look at this, you're like, oh, one mana, 1/1, big deal. Like we have in modern, we have guide, one mana, 2/2, haste. So get that damage in, turn one, turn two, you know. But what this guy does that other cards don't do, and I don't think I've ever done in Burn, is, well, it guarantees damage when it comes into play. It's a body that guarantees damage. Mostly like kind of like the Pyromancer here. When he comes into play for two, he will deal two, and he's a 2/1. So he's gonna guarantee you some damage there. That's why I like him so much. Different than Thermo Alchemist. Different than all the other critters. They guarantee damage. I mean, there's no use playing a Thermo Alchemist if it's just gonna get removed. So usually when opponents use removal spells, even if they use only four Galvanic Blasts, I'm usually just siding him out. I'm taking the Alchemist out because you don't want to like waste turn two doing something and not dealing damage. I mean, Alchemist is I mean, he's good enough to be in the main deck because if your opponent doesn't remove him, if your opponent does not remove him, you will deal a lot of damage, believe me. There's a video on my channel where I deal like a bunch of damage, like 20 something damage on turn three or something. It's just crazy. Um, so he's worth being in the main deck, but you do need to side him out if your opponent is using removal spells because you don't want to be wasting your time with that nonsense. So let's go back to the Epicure here. He's gonna guarantee you damage. That's just that that's one thing that Burn needs, guaranteed damage. So whenever you play him, he's gonna deal one to each opponent. He can attack and he can block. So being able to do those two things are, I mean that's really good for a creature who comes into play and guarantees you damage. He attacks for one, defends for one. But I mean, if that was all, he would just be like a faster pyromancer, I guess, a cheaper pyromancer to cast. But if that's not all, he still creates a blood token for you. So that is a huge. That's like you don't know how. I mean, I didn't understand how huge that was until I actually tried them. If you have two of these guys in play, that means you're gonna draw two more cards, basically. So if your opponent is not, destroying your artifacts, because this isn't an artifact deck, then you're gonna be drawing cards. And believe me, he's not gonna wanna substitute life gain cards for destroying artifact cards. I mean, if your opponent sides in something against this artifact, against this blood token, I mean, you can always just pay one and respond to whatever he does. So, this is just too good for a burn deck. This reminds me a little bit of Sunbaked Canyon. Um, I'm not sure if I have. I don't have this card, I think. Oh, I do. Okay. So Sunbaked, you're gonna pay one, sacrifice some, and draw a card. Um, it just reminds me of the card. Okay, guys, it's not the same. I mean, you're basically filtering a land. You're throwing away a land or a Searing Blaze or something like that that's not useful at the moment for something that could be useful or win you the game, you know. So that does happen to me during a game. I have nothing like I don't have enough damage, to close out the game. I cycle a card and I cast a one mana, I think a lava spike or something, and I close out the game. So I am sure I'm sure this will become a staple in the burn deck. It's just a card I really enjoy using in the burn deck. Um, Now, why is having this card so important? Well, it draws you cards, it blocks creatures, so you have more time. You have like you can block a creature and like save yourself some life points to be able to, uh later on use that as a resource and just draw one more card that can that could close out the game for you. Um, you know, and it can attack. So this dude, I've done like 3 damage, easy, 3 or 4 damage with this guy. Just turn one, play him, deal one, and then turn two, like your opponent's gonna play a tapped land. Turn two, you're already attacking with him, so he's already dealt what 2 damage. Um, you might even be able to attack with him again. So that's what 3 damage and a blood token for 1 mana. That's pretty good. Um, Impulses here. Because of the impulse, I did remove Rift Bolt, since Rift Bolt is the slowest burn spell in the deck. It takes a turn. And if it's exiled with this, you're going to have to pay 3 to cast it. That's not optimal for a burn deck. Like I said, you're looking for 3 damage and 1 mana, or like the Epicure, 3 different value, 3 different positive characteristics, 3 different kinds of value that you can um, take advantage of the card for 1 mana. Um, the rest of the deck is just pretty straightforward. I mean, I do keep the Pyromancer in here because it comes with the body and it guarantees damage, so you can also attack or block. Um, 2 mana is not optimal, but this is a good card, and all of these creatures here, well, at least these 8 creatures here, they um they synergize well with Flame Rift. So I am using Flame Rift in this deck. Um, Flame Rift is gonna deal 4 damage to each player, and since you are protecting your life points better with the creatures, it's a lot easier for you to cast Flame Rift. You do not want to be using this card, like I said, I remove Alchemist if there's a lot of removal, and I remove Flame Rift if you're going against a really aggro deck or a deck that uses 4 Galvanic Blasts. You're just going to be helping them out. 4 damage is a lot of damage. Um, you're going to deal a lot of damage to your opponent, but you're also going to take a lot of damage. That's why it's so important to keep these guys uh, untapped to block, right? So you do have some really good side outs here. You have the Flame Rift, you have the Impulse to side out if you need to. You can side out 1 or 2 Fire Blasts. You can side out Searing Blazes, the Alchemist. So that's one of the reasons I like this version of the deck. You can manipulate it easy enough to still have a pretty strong damage dealing strategy. Um, so besides the Flame Rift, there are 2 Searing Blazes. This card, it's just so important when your opponent has creatures. So part of playing a burn deck is to hold on to a mana for Searing Blaze. You don't just spill out all your mana on the battlefield. Um, and if you've never had someone play or cast a Searing Blaze on you, um, with the landfall trigger, then you're very, very lucky because it hurts. Um, this card is just what burn needs. It slows down your opponent. It affects the battlefield by taking away your opponent's creature, or even helping one of your guys kill a bigger creature. Uh, Plus, it deals three damage to their life points, 3 damage to the face, and if by any means the creature is removed, this card um, it checks 3 targets, so target creature and target player. So if the creature is removed, the player still takes damage, in case you guys didn't know. So it's just a really, really good card to have in your deck if your opponent is using um, 3 toughness or lower creatures. I usually use one Searing Blaze. Um, I'm testing 2. I'm testing 2 in the main deck. Um, so I could have more space in the sideboard. And I've been enjoying 2 String Blazes in the deck. Of course, you will need to side this out versus Tron or versus any other decks that don't really have creatures, early creatures, because you want to be using this early in the game. Um, Late game, it's also good, but the chances for you to get landfall early game are higher. Um, Thermal Alchemist, really nothing to say here. He just, blocks, protects your life points, and deals damage to your opponent. Skewer the Critics, uh, 1 mana bolt spell, Lightning Bolts, 1 mana bolt spell, Lava Spike, 1 mana, 3 damage spell, Chain Lightning, 1 mana, 3 damage spell. Be careful of Chain Lightning because your opponents can copy it and kill one of your creatures or just, kill you, deal damage to you. I've been trying this out. It's been pretty cool. Let's go ahead and go to the sideboard. We're using 3 Electricity against elves and boggles and everything that has 1 toughness. Um, this is really just, to slow down your opponent because if he's faster than you with those critters, then he might just win the game. with recurring damage because creatures they deal recurring damage, and so you don't want to be taking a lot of damage from creatures, so you want to just use this and kill everything. Um, I don't use the Martyr of Ashes. I don't even know if I have it. I don't know if I have it, but I don't use it. I don't have a lot of experience with that card, but people prefer just using it. Um, two more Searing Blazes for creature heavy decks. You're usually gonna put these five cards against creature decks, especially elves. Three Smash Smithereens with all the affinity going on. Um, Even though the new artifact lands are indestructible, this can always just take something out. This can kill a Mirror Enforcer, can kill Frogmite. It can get rid of any lands that are not indestructible and that are artifact lands. Um, you might just get rid of a golden egg if you're lucky enough for your opponent to tap out. So I'd really like to be using four of these to be honest, but I guess four is a little too much. You're not always gonna have a valid target for this, so three is a good number. Smash to smithereens, man. This card is pretty cool. It's an instant spell too. For Keldon Marauders, you're gonna put this against, I guess aggro decks. You can block. You can block well. You're gonna put this. You're just always gonna put this in your deck. I guess you can put this against control decks as well. You can substitute Alchemist for Marauders. Because if they do take out the Marauders, I mean, it has two guaranteed damage. Um, Usually what happens is people, who play control, they're gonna remove their removal spells, and so um, most of the time you might just get in for 5 damage with this card if it's not removed. If it is removed, then that's fine. But it usually takes Thermal Alchemist's place against control decks, and against aggro decks, you're just gonna take out Flame Rift and put this in. Um, you know. Three Molten Rains. This card is really cool, because if your opponent plays bounce lands, you can just destroy their land and that'll put them back. It'll put them behind a lot. It's good against Tron. It's good against even Affinity if you can get an artifact land that can be destroyed. So during the league, I used all these cards, man. Besides Electricity, I didn't need to use Electricity. But I want you guys to go ahead and see what happened. Um, I couldn't sleep, so I came to the PC and uh, I started playing a league. I don't really play leagues that much, but it was I think second or third league in my life, and I think we did pretty well, okay, with this deck. And I wanted to share my opinions about the new cards, and um, some people have been asking me about uh, Needle Drop and Curse of the Pierced Heart. Why I'm not using those. Um, I really like Curse of the Pierced Heart, and I really like Needle Drop. Together they should synergize really well. The thing is, how much damage are you gonna get out of this, you know? If you can play this, if you're able to play this on turn two, then that's really good because you're gonna be able to take advantage of one damage per turn. Um, but usually what happens, uh, people are just gonna bounce this, or like they do with Thermal Alchemist, they just bounce them to try to delay your game plan, or they're just gonna, use Hydro Blast or Blue Elemental Blast. So I don't know. It's worth a try. Maybe in the sideboard, or maybe in the main deck. But I see this only good against decks that do not have blue. And to be honest, many decks have blue. The best decks have blue. The best decks are using blue. So I, I cut this for being too slow. Uh, just as the Rift Bolt is too slow. And since I took this out, I also took out Needle Drop. You could try this out. Um, this is not a bad card. You're going to be dealing one damage and drawing a card. The downside is that you're going to have one more um, spectacle effect. So you're going to have to deal damage and then deal another damage. If you have nothing in hand and you draw this card, you are not going to close out the game because you need to deal damage to your opponent before using this card. So this could be a dead draw. And you do not really want any dead draws when playing Burn. You do not want dead draws and you do not want slow cards because what makes this deck good is its velocity and how fast it can close out games. If your opponent takes a little too long to do something, then he can just, easily lose the game to Burn. You can't take too long. You know what I mean? So, um, that's just my opinion about the deck. I really like playing Burn. I played Burn in all formats, besides sealed and draft and limited, um, and standard. I don't really play standard that much. But all the other formats, I do use the Burn deck. So, um, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Comment below. Let's go ahead and go to the league matches. I have the recording that I'm just gonna play. Um, it says 2 hours, but I started playing Paladins later, so the league actually took about an hour and a half. About an hour and a half. Yep. Okay, so let's go. I'm gonna try to talk to you guys and explain what I was thinking at the time, if I remember. But what's important is that you guys are gonna see the deck in action with the new Crimson Vow awesomeness. So really cool cards. So let's go. Let's continue here. Forward this a little bit. All right. So into the yeah. No. What am I doing? Yeah, okay. Finding league opponent. And let's just see what happened here. So our first opponent is Fink 64. And this is the hand we got. One, two, three, four. Four one mana spells is enough to play. And we're on the draw. So this is a pretty good keep since we are on the draw, but I would have just kept this if we were on the play as well. You don't always. I mean, the best thing is a reckless impulse turn two, but you don't have to do it turn two. The best play is actually a creature turn two, but reckless impulse turn two is also pretty good. So our opponent is playing Affinity. He goes ahead and puts the Disciple out, and we put out our Vampire, getting that token, getting all that value. He cannot attack us with the Disciple, because if he does, we'll just block for sure. The Disciple is not to be underestimated in the Affinity deck. Affinity is another deck that I really like to use, and the Disciple will beat your butt if you don't remove it. Um, Without even attacking, he'll just, Affinity is just going to sacrifice everything, and you're going to take damage and damage and damage. And if he has two Disciples in play and you can't remove them, then that's probably even worse than having two Thermal Alchemists in play. Or not, because Thermal Alchemist is OP. But Disciple is strong, guys. Don't underestimate him. So our opponent plays a turn two a Tog. I really do not get that. Um, in order for you to play a turn two a Tog, you gotta have a really good hand. And you gotta hope your opponent doesn't just kill it. I think he did that, hoping for a burn spell on the Atog, since I would be using my resources on his creatures instead of on his life points. Um, so it wasn't a bad play, especially if he has another one in hand. But what Affinity does, and what it does better than any other deck, is it draws cards. It draws a lot of cards. So um, if I bolt the Atog, that's less cards in my hand and more cards in his hand in the long run. You know what I mean? So I remember I didn't even do anything to the Atog. I just left him there since I did have a blocker for him. What I did do was, since he had the Atog in play, was bolt the Disciple, if I remember correctly. I went ahead and drew another Vampire. I even take a while to think about what to do. So I end up casting two spells. I have two virtual draws and two blockers. So sounds pretty good until now. What would you have done, guys? I mean, would you have taken out the Atog? I just feel the Disciple is just more threatening with the dispute and everything, sacrificing artifacts and just chipping away at your life points, you know what I mean? Opponent really takes his time, yeah. He is a very experienced player, as you will see during the match. And he, like the first mistake, he just, he takes full advantage of it. The first mistake I make. So surprised getting an Affinity round one in a league. There are a lot of affinity decks at the moment. Grixis and Rakdos. the BR versions, they're using more of the normal artifact lands, so that's pretty good for us with Smash Smithereens in the sideboard. Um, Turn 2 Impulse, just getting that card advantage. I get a land and I just Bolt Face. I don't attack here. And our opponent did have I think a dispute. So I think he sacrifices a land. Yep, he draws 2. And he still, keeps a land, which is OP. He still gets he still has 3 lands, basically, virtually. So, which is really OP for the dispute card. I still have a Flame Rift here that I'll be able to use next turn. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have lethal here, basically, in spells. Plus 2 draws in case I draw a land. I start losing damage. I lost a life point to the treasure token with the Disciple in play. I don't block here since it's not lethal. I think I don't block. Yeah. But he was able to chip away 5 damage with an attack and the Disciple. Drew another burn spell. I think this is where I lose. I'm not sure. I don't remember if I lose, but I think I just, I attack. Don't do this. When you're going against Affinity, just don't attack. Especially with an Atog in play, don't do this. I had 2 blocks. So by doing this, I left myself open to a million Galvanic Blasts and just, a really big Atog killing me. So if he takes 2, he goes to 13. And I can only deal 11 damage. 4, so... No, I can deal 3, 5, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, I can only deal 11 damage. So, it wasn't lethal. Wasn't worth it. Here, I should have probably killed the Atog, but I was scared of the Disciple again. I should have killed the Atog here because I had no blockers up. Tell me what you guys would have done. It's not as easy to play burn as people say, is it? Huh? I'm thinking whether to use the Flame Rift or not, and I'm just not sure. So I don't know. It was late, For it's 8 damage or 7 damage. Yeah. I think I realized that I shouldn't have attacked in my second main phase. So I just, I don't even know what I did there. I just passed the turn. Here our opponent has what, 6 cards, 5 or 6 cards, right? And that's just enough to close out the game. He plays a whole bunch of artifacts and just attacks for a whole bunch, and red cannot kill a Tog. So unfortunately, that's what happened. to let this play out so you guys can see. But if I remember correctly, that's what happened. Is there any way I can like play this faster? Oh, okay. Let's put this to 1.25. Yeah, there you go. It's a little faster, I guess. You guys can always just, you know, accelerate the video, speed up the video on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. So this is what I side out and side in. Put some blockers out, put some smash the smithereens out. Don't really use blaze. I should have taken out flame rift, I think. But I really don't remember what I did here. Took out the Keldons, I don't know. Let's see. Just put 3 smashes. Put them back in. Yeah, like I really didn't know. Took out a fire blast. You don't. Oh, I took out the thermal alchemist. Okay, because of the galvanics. Took out the flame rifts. Okay, okay. Let's see. Let's see what I'm gonna do. Put back a fire blast. Put the searing blazes, because that does take out disciple. And I submitted. Okay. So that's what I did. Got a pretty good hand. I mean, 3 mana is fine. 2 is ideal. 2 is ideal. Our opponent mulligans. So that's pretty good for us. And we, you know, we kept the hand with Smash the Smithereens. So that is really cool. We got a turn 1 play with the Vampire, turn 2 play. So this is really good. I'm really excited about this game 2 and this hand. He goes ahead and plays the Vault Whisters, and we just take that out immediately after attacks. Because Disciple can't really do anything if he doesn't have lands. We take that out. So that was really fun to do. Then we get another land from our opponent. Unfortunately, it's not another smash, but we do get the vamp. We do take 2 mountains out of the top. So that's a little bit of the power you see in Reckless Impulse. He galvanics our vamp, so he can attack, I guess, with the vampire. I play a land from exile and then put down another vampire. Our opponent quits. I guess he didn't get another land drop. So that was a pretty quick one. For game 3, let's see what we're gonna do here. I never remember what I side in or side out. I guess I just keep it the same. I keep it the same, you know. I don't change anything because. All right, so we got a pretty similar hand here. The only difference is the bolt and no smash the smithereens. I'm not sure what happens here. I don't remember, but I'm just happy to see our vampire turn 1. Because that gets rid of our lands. And gives us fresh draws, you know? Opponent starts with Terrarian. He goes ahead and I think Duress is me or something. Plus a Blood Fountain. Blood Fountain is an extremely good card and a extremely good addition to the affinity decks. He takes out a Reckless Impulse because he knows that's our card advantage. We draw a Smash Smithereens and immediately just take out the Great Furnace. So that was a perfect draw at that time. He goes ahead and just quits. And we start this league 1-0. Just fast forward this a little bit. All right. So game 2, I think we got I don't remember, Jund or something, or Fog. Or we got a lot of lands here. I just keep because I don't feel like mulligan. I don't like mulligan, but you should mulligan this hand. You know, I'm just happy to see a Thermal Alchemist. I draw another land, unfortunately. I usually keep these kinds of hands, just, you know, in hopes of not drawing any more lands, but you always just draw more lands. So, we play against another burn deck. Yeah, that's true. So I go ahead and just Reckless Impulse to get rid of those lands and just filter the deck a little better. And try to find a bolt for our opponent's Thermal Alchemist because he cannot stay in play. If Thermal Alchemist stays in play, that's just too much damage. As you will see, our opponent just deals a lot of damage with the Thermal Alchemist by casting all of his spells and just, you know, tapping and untapping, tapping and untapping. So, good thing I found the Chain Lightning with the Reckless Impulse, because I can go ahead and take out the Thermal Alchemist, but it is actually too late because he takes me down to 3, if I remember correctly. Just like, I mean, Thermal Alchemist stayed in play 1 turn. That was 1 turn that I did not get rid of Thermal Alchemist, and I went down to 3. So I basically lost there. Any bolt effect will just kill me on the spot, and that's what happens. So, don't keep flooded hands, guys. I put in Marauders, I guess. I don't remember what I did here. I took out the Searing Blazes? I don't know. I took out the Thermal Alchemist. I don't want him dying. Because he will die. For sure. I took out the Epicure because he doesn't get in for much damage, I guess. No, I put him back in. I think I was scared of Smash Smithereens, but I just put him back in. Alright, so that's all I did. Put some creatures and some blazes. This is a more... This is actually... This was not a really good hand to keep. I was hoping to just, you know, get the second mana for the impulse. And if not, I could just cycle something. But I did get the second mana, so I didn't have to discard anything to try to reach the land drop. To try to get the land drop. So I just, yeah, impulse. Get a glimpse into the future with impulse. Yeah, I start taking 3. I play the land. I just impulse again. Just get a lot of advantage here with the cards. Here, our vampire is just gonna attack. He's gonna get in for damage there. He's already dealt a pretty good amount of damage. We got the Get 2 coming in here just to get blazed. So nice knowing you and getting in with the vampire. Our opponent just quit there. There's no really, no really coming. There wasn't really coming back from that. I had too much card advantage and too much pressure on the battlefield with the vampires. What do I do here? Let's see. Take out the blazes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, you see, I really want to play the Alchemist, but I just can't because I guess Blaze was pretty good in that match, so I just put 4 of them. You can't really play. So here I mulliganed to try to keep a winning hand, a better hand, I guess. So here I mulliganed to 5. Our opponent kept 7. We have the Vamp. So no problems if we have lands in hand, because we can cycle those. We get a Rift Bolt suspended, and he takes out our Vampire. We just immediately just put another creature in play that guarantees some damage. He's probably going to take out my creature. Yeah. So he did not want our creatures in play so that his Get 2 could get in for 2. We do have another Blaze for his Get 2, so that was really good. I did want to cycle the 3rd land though, although I preferred to just Blaze his Get 2. We get a curse, which is fine. It's kind of slow, so we know our cards deal faster damage, I guess, more damage. I did cycle here. What did I cycle? Was it a land? Hold on. What did I cycle here? Okay, he plays the curse. Okay, yeah, it was a land. Okay. See, I mean, that's just too good. That's just too good. I traded a land for a burn spell. It's just too good. It's just too good. This has to be a staple in the burn deck. I go ahead and just Lava Spike and skewer him, and just get the damage in. You see, like, he's using needle drops, and he's drawing cards, but he did use up some burn spells on my creatures. Oh, so I also got blazed, but I think that was for 1. Thank goodness. I'm not sure. Was that for 1? Did I get blazed for 1, guys? Let's see. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. So 3. Okay, needle drops. It's just like it's not enough to needle drop into a land or something. But yeah, he blazes us for 1. That's fine. That is okay. Then I get skewered. We are taking damage from the curse more than we should, but look at the power of these blood tokens. He goes down to 3 because of that blood token. We gotta get to in play here with haste, so things are starting to get tight. We go down to 5. but then we draw a bolt. So pretty good draw there for us. If we hadn't filtered our deck as much as we did, we would not have won. So that's 2-0. Next match. Let's see. Yeah. So what did I keep here? Let me see. Okay, so 3 manas, Vampire, Riftbolt, and Skewer. One of our lands can be cycled, so this is a pretty good hand. I only use one Forgotten Cave, I believe. I'm not sure I said that in the deck tech, but I do not like to use 2 because I'm afraid of opening a hand with 2 of them. So, lucky enough to see our Vampire turn 1. That just guarantees a draw later. Go ahead and just, Flame Rift for 2. I really don't know what he's playing, but I imagine it could be Jund because of the Gruul tapped land. Yeah, our opponent takes a while here to think about what he's gonna do. I recently tried using the Gen deck. It's a pretty fun deck, guys. So he's gonna cleanse Wildfire here. Maybe I was thinking about using it on my land? I don't know. Wouldn't be worth it for him. So he goes ahead and ramps. I draw Fire Blast. I just go ahead and cycle this as soon as possible. Our opponent's name is Dishonor on your cow. Not sure what that means, but there's some pretty cool Magic Online nicknames, aren't they? Aren't there? All right. So we cycled into a Reckless Impulse. So we're gonna just Impulse here. We got some really good cards on the Impulse there, guys. That's some crazy advantage right there. And lethal, that's lethal as well. We have lethal damage already. If we can just cast everything, then that's GG. Just, 3 bolt effects and Fire Blast, that's GG. Fire Blast is so good. Our opponent, he's got 4 mana. It's not really enough to do anything. So he in that deck, it's a kind of heavy deck. The cards are kind of converted mana cost heavy. So he's gonna have some removals and stuff, but I drew a land. I just play a land and just play the spells that I have available. Spectacle with the Skewer. We do that, and then we do that. All right. Jund. So he's got some life gain, you know. He can't get to, if he gets to the sixth mana, then that could be a problem. I take out the impulses because I feel like we need to be as fast as possible. We need to be faster than he is ramping. We need to deal damage faster than he is ramping. We cannot let him play a Fengraph or Marauder or something like that. So I put Molten Rain in here to try to put his ramping plans behind him, you know, just to try to get in the way of his ramping strategy. I do put the Marauders in here to, you know, just, you know, because they deal damage, so I want to deal damage. I probably should have removed Sided Out Thermal Alchemist though, because I know this deck has a lot of removal to survive early game. I did not do that though. Since I did win game one, I thought I would just, you know, risk it a little bit with the Thermal Alchemist. Because if it does work out, if the Thermal Alchemist plan works out, you know, it just works out really well. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember what happened here. Opponent plays second land and ramps. Now I know I'm not gonna get any damage with the Molten Rain. Like I said, I just wanted it to get in the way, you know, of just, you know, stop him from ramping so much by taking away a basic land. So here's a Chainer's Edict. Getting rid of our Thermal Alchemist. That you don't want that to happen because you just spent 2 mana for no damage at all. So here I just let it all out, you know. I start just pouring my hand out and just casting everything I have. We do have lethal here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We do have lethal here, but the problem is the Flame Rift. I hold back on the Flame Rift because our opponent uses 4 Galvanic Blasts and a card that has Grave Recursion, so he can get back. He can get Galvanic back and just burn us out. And I was really scared of being burned out by this deck, you know. Can you imagine playing with burn and being burned out by a gen deck? I mean, that does not sound good. Doesn't look good either. But it is possible, especially if you are using Flame Rifts like I am. So our opponent's thinking here, I guess. He's got 4 mana. I don't know. Don't remember. So he's gonna, yeah, again, he just kills him. He kills him. You know? Thermal Alchemist just dies, bro. That's horrible for us. That's just horrible. You know, but at least we're getting some good draws here. We can put him down to 9 or 1, I guess. And that's what I think about doing. I really don't want to go to 6 because he has 6 mana. He can play the pirate with the cascade effect and hit for 6 and then Galvanic and then I'm dead. I don't know. I guess I risked it here and kept Bolt up for the I kept Bolt up for the no, yeah. God, I don't know. I just got really lucky. He could have just won here, but he did not have the pirate. He did not have the pirate. A boarding party is the name of the card. If he had boarding party, I really risked it there. I should have waited for the end step to bolt him. So guys, always wait for the end step. He could have played a boarding party and won, you know? So really lucky here. I got really lucky here. Um, and like I said, just wait for the end step to use the bolts. Just, yeah, do that. Okay. So here we're 3-0, 3-0. Next we go against. Hold on. What do we go against? Okay, so we go against Ali Zanmi. Ale is on me. Ale? Ali? So he's asking me if I'm 4-0. I said no, I'm 3-0. Or no, I'm 2-0. I guess. I don't know what I am. I forgot. Yeah, 3-0 because Affinity, Burn, and Jun, right? So yeah, we're chatting here. I think I can even show you. Let me see. Can you see that? So he was asking me about that. Okay, so all right, here we go. Turn 1 Vamp. Turn 2 what? Impulse. Yeah, since he has no creatures, you know, I put the Viacino Pyromancer so that I can get in for some damage. I initially thought this was gonna be a mono black deck, but then it turned out to be a different kind of deck, and I'm just attacking, bro. I'm just like, take that, and just cycle. Oh no, I don't cycle. I just deal damage here. So this is our opponent's turn 3. He's at 10. I do realize this is Tron. So here, I could play the Alchemist, but I just closed out the game, I think. Or no. Yeah, I closed out the game with the Blood Token. So here we draw with the Blood Token, and we close out the game with the damage spells. Blood Tokens working like a charm. Molten Rain, Smash Smithereens for the forgot the name. Prophetic Prism, right? Keldon Marauders. I take out the Searing Blazes. Take out the Impulses? Not sure. Not sure why. I guess I just want to be faster now. So I'm taking out everything that's just slow. And I still gotta take out 4. I take out a land and I take out 2 Fire Blasts and 1 Smash the Smithereens because we're not gonna really have a lot of targets for Smash the Smithereens. If we have a target, that's gonna be a Prism if he casts it. So I guess 2 is enough. Just to get rid of his colored mana. Although he does use decks that give colored mana. I did mulligan here. Let's see why. Okay, so 1 mana and just so yeah, I only had 2 spells to cast for 1 mana. So I didn't really want to risk that. I could have kept this hand. But I really just wanted to get the game over with, so I looked for the 2nd mana, and I found it. I decided to keep 2 Alchemists, Although I could have kept just one. Um, I kept two just in case. Unfortunately, we didn't see the vampire this game, but we did play the Thermal Alchemist turn two. Our opponent here, he gets rid of one, so it was a good thing we kept the other one. Here, I just decided to take out his land, I think, or play the, I played the Alchemist, because he's just too strong to not play him, you know. Um, Pretty good card on our opponent's side. He played Farka's Libation, or Libation. Gets rid of enchantments. So he was probably thinking of, probably thinking I was using Curse. So here he ramped pretty well. He found everything he needed. I'm just gonna, thermo him to death here, I guess. Get rid of a land. Just thermo him some more. And I believe getting rid of his land um, put him behind a little bit because I was able to just untap and. So here's some counters. That was actually a bait for him. So now I can just cast my two spells for 4 damage each. But he did have another counter. So that was unfortunate. We do get in with the bolt though. And we take him down to 6. He's only got 1 card in hand. He used a lot of resources already to get the lands and get some cards, and he's tapping out here, so that's really good for us. Unfortunately, we draw a land with no blood tokens in play. That was really bad for us. He's gonna gain some life, I believe. Yeah. Pulse of Miraza for 6. And then Mnemonic Wall to return Pulse of Miraza. So that's a lot of life gain. We just keep dealing damage because that's what we do. So he's gonna use another Pulse of Miraza. And he gets a Fangren Marauder. I'm not really sure what happens in this game, but I draw Fire Blast here. And I just use it because I got like flooded, so I just use it, And he gets down to 6 again. So we're just countering those pulses of Mirazas. He's actually gonna get in for 5 here. I'm just hoping he doesn't sacrifice any artifacts. Not ideal, but we do draw Vyashino. He's gonna be able to protect our life points. But again, like, he can't sacrifice any artifacts here, or he's gonna gain 5 life. And we were just so lucky he didn't draw anything to sacrifice. Any artifacts. And even if I take out a prism, he gains life. If I take out a prism. But then we were able to draw, our Chain Lightning and get in for lethal. He had 3 cards in hand, but he did not have any more counters, thank goodness. So that's 4-0, guys. 2-0 against... Oh no, 2-1 versus Affinity, 2-1 versus Burn, 2-0 versus Jund, and 2-0 versus Tron. This makes total sense, you know, because Tron and Jund, they need time. They need time to do what they got to do, and we just can't give them that time. We got to just burn them out before they can do anything. We did have some life gain there against the Tron deck, but we were able to come back anyway with our Thermal Alchemist. Um, the Affinity deck's just so strong, 2-1 here, and then the Burn deck is also just so fast. We were able to be faster because of our setup, but such a strong deck when it curves out, and we were lucky enough to go 2-1 here. So, we're gonna go ahead and go to the last match. So our opponent, he was playing Familiars. Just fast forward a little bit. So this is a pretty interesting matchup. I kept 3 lands and some cards. Oh, I think someone just liked or something. Um, that was scary. I got someone just followed on Twitch, I guess. I didn't even get that notification, I think, at the time. I guess I was just so concentrated. But anyways, we start out with the vampire. We get our handy blood token in there. We play our lands. Unfortunately, we already have 4 lands. We you know I, he's using blue, so I just want to go ahead and cast everything I can before he can counter anything. Um, our vampire has attacked for 1 already, so he's already dealt 2 damage um, in this match. Um, We're just gonna go ahead and just cast everything here. I guess we're just gonna cast Bolt or just yeah, or just you know, we don't want anything to get countered here. We just take them down to we take them down to 4 on our turn 3. Unfortunately, that wasn't lethal, but our opponent has 2 mana up now, 2 blue mana up. He plays the wall. He gets he snaps our vampire back and then taps some counter mana. That is just so delaying. That delays our plan so much because so sacrifice a permanent unless they pay 1. I can't pay 1, so I'm gonna sacrifice my land. Um, I didn't want to sacrifice the blood token, so here I wanna find a 3 mana spell, a bolt spell, a 3 damage spell, so I can just close out the game with the vampire, and that's what I do. The blood token just saved my booty. That was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. So I was able to find a risky, but I was able to find one of our 16, one of our 20, no, 16 spells that deal 3 damage for 1 mana. I really thought I had this, but our opponent just um on game 2 he came out pretty strong. I'm not sure what I do here for sideboarding. Uh, okay, I remember that I checked the toughness of his wall, and it was 3, so I put in 2 Searing Blazes. Yep. have the Searing Blazes in there. Took out the impulses. I just, took out a land. And that's what I did. We're keeping this. This is not a bad hand. It's not as explosive as the first hand, but we're keeping this. This is not a bad hand at all. Unfortunately, our opponent just, he has the untapped lands here. And he's just so ready for us. He just passes the turn. I play a land here, and I think I just pass because I don't want to play into any counters. So I was hoping he would tap out and play a creature or something so that I could play Thermal Alchemist. Might have been a mistake. Would you guys have played the Thermal Alchemist turn 2? I think so, right? I think I should have played him turn 2. I keep the land in hand for the Searing Blaze. I did not know he was using bounce lands, or I would have used the Molten Rain from the sideboard. He bounces back our Thermal Alchemist, which slows us down so much. We've got a lot of cards here, so we're gonna have to play something. So there, I counted the cards. We're gonna have to play something here, so we don't just have to discard. So I played the land. I could have just held on to that and got more value with the Thermal Alchemist. But like I said, Thermal Alchemist, he is getting bounced. He is getting destroyed by blue elemental blasts. I just, I tried playing him again, another one at least. He gets countered, so he did have a prohibit there. Complicated. I try to get in for the damage, for as much damage as possible. I kind of bait here because I know I'm not going to be able to attack with this anyways, with the 0-4 in play. I can, but yeah. So this dude, this God Pharaoh card is just too strong because every spell he plays, every blue spell he casts, he gains a life. And if you gain life against burn, then you'll probably win if you gain a lot of life. If you interact too much. Here I attacked to try to. So here I baited a chain lightning. This game was so cool because I was able to get rid of his Pharaoh, or no, I wasn't able. Oh no, he snapped him back. But the Searing Blaze does take 3, does deal 3. You see how important that card is? He had to snap him back. If I'm not mistaken, I get him down to 1 life. We do have lethal 8, 9, 10. But he does play his God Pharaoh again. Unfortunately we draw a Thermal Alchemist. Thermal Alchemist is just too slow for this match. You do need to side out Thermal Alchemist. I will be siding out Thermal Alchemist in future matches. So here we have 4 damage. We just deal 4 more, or no? No, we play the Thermal Alchemist. That's fine. He actually took 2 from the Viashino Pyromancer, so that was really cool. He goes up to 7 by casting MOL Drifter. He goes up to 8 by casting Preordain. He goes up to 9 by casting Ponder. And you know, these recurrent life gains, they just get in the way so much of our plan. Unfortunately, this wasn't a bolt spell, or else I think we would have won. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we take them down to 8. I mean, we take them down to 1. If that Searing Blaze would have been any other spell. Oh no, yeah, yeah, we take them. I really don't know why he did this. Although I imagined he had a ephemerate, but I just wanted to deal all the damage I could while he was tapped out, because I knew he was gonna draw 2 and then maybe find a counter spell, and I don't know. I took him down to 1. That's annoying. 1 damage, guys. But I mean, the life gain though, he snaps back our Thermal Alchemist and just. We don't really have anything to do here. I'm gonna forward this a little bit, like not forward, but I'm gonna speed this up because he just, you know, he just. I can't really do anything here now because he's just got too many cards in hand, and he's got 2 God Pharaohs, and let me just speed this up. Yeah, here we go. So you know, I cast what I can. He goes down to 6, but then he just draws too many cards. I just concede here. That was G2. I put in the Molten Rains against the bounce lands. Put in the other lands since I'm using the Molten Rain. Take out the Viashino. I should have taken out the Blazes. I don't know. We keep our Vampire. Did we mulligan? Yeah. I think I get rid of Fire Blast here. I only have 1 mana. And I want to keep the Molten Rain. Alright. Here we go. Feels good to play the Vampire turn 1. I think we attack and Skewer. There we go. Our opponent, unfortunately, he puts out the God Pharaoh 0/4. 0/4 is just so much. We do find the land. I really wanted to have the 3rd land here to get rid of his bounce land, but we don't. So we cast what we can, hoping it'll be enough. We cycle something to try to find the 3rd land. I do find the 3rd land, and I cast Molten Rain, but he does have his mana untapped, and blue does what blue does best. Oh no, but yeah, I don't cast anything, I guess, since his mana is up. Our opponent played really well with the familiar deck. Really strong deck. So he already, yeah, he has the God Pharaoh out. He's just gonna gain a lot of life here. We take out his one of his lands, so that's pretty cool. I wish we could take out the God Pharaoh somehow. Searing Blaze for 4, that would be awesome. So Thermal Alchemist here, I guess, yeah, it's not working out for us. He's using the Echoing Truth, bounces the Alchemist. That's the importance of guaranteeing damage. Um, I really don't know why I insisted in using Thermal Alchemist in this match. Don't use Thermal Alchemist in this match, guys. See what I mean? Um, Familiar is just configured to beat aggro, and so he'll just bounce everything and just block everything and gain a whole bunch of life. So what you want to do is just resolve as many spells as you can. I unfortunately drew 3 freaking blazes. I really don't know why I kept blaze here either. I would use one. One is fine. Um, yeah. He goes down to 5. I mean, I do deal some damage even though he's gaining life, but it's just not enough. He's got 3 cards, but he's gonna counter and gain life. So that's the problem. So maybe I should have cycled this, I don't know, but I wanted to have the landfall for Searing Blaze, so I played it and I tried blazing one of his life gainers, but he had another counter. Oh, actually, he had Ghostly Flicker. Yeah, protected really well. His we got 3 God Pharaohs in play. There's no really coming back from 3 God Pharaohs. But I keep attacking and hoping something would happen. So he takes his time. It's a really defensive deck. He goes ahead and kills a vampire. I attack for 1, and he has 3 0/4s, so why not? I get countered again, but then he gains 3 life. Try to play the Marauders. I keep attacking for 1, and he keeps blocking. I kept attacking because I don't know, I just wanted to. And it's kind of like a ritual for me so that I could draw something good. I let myself believe that if I kept attacking, I'd draw something good. Here we play a. Okay, we cycle 1. So I do that. I get countered again. I do that. And I get snapped. So he snaps his. He snaps back his creature again. So you can't really target his God Pharaoh. Searing Blaze and Thermal Alchemist is a side out for familiars. We have learned that together. And that's it, guys. That's what I won, and it was a pretty interesting league. So I hope you guys liked this video. Um, Tell me what you think about the new burn deck. Tell me what you think about the flame rifts, about the vampire, about the impulse, um, and I don't know. I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay? So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Talk to you guys later. Bye.